Welcome to the Pharmacy Leaders Podcast with your host, Tony Guerra. The Pharmacy Leaders Podcast is a member of the Pharmacy Podcast Network, with interviews and advice on building your professional network, brand, and a purposeful second income from students, residents, and innovative professionals.
Hey, welcome to Pharmacy Leaders Sunday or weekend edition. I'm here with my P4 student on his very last day. Actually, he's P3 for another week, and then he transitions into P4. But at the University of Iowa, it's a little bit different. They get to choose whether they're going to take classes, do up to 2 additional elective rotations. And can you do other stuff besides just electives? Or can you do primary rotations as P3, or do you have to wait till your P4 year? You could get, and if you get them out of the way, like if you got 2 done now, would you have like 2 free later if you wanted it that way?
No, so you get 1 buy option.
Okay.
And then 1 buy.
Okay, so can't get away with that. All right, good to know. All right, so this week, Ahmed is 2/3 of my week this week. On Monday, you're going to listen to him interviewing Sam. Let me get the last name right. Anderegg, or is it just Andreg? Anderegg, the CEO of Doc Station, and really an inspiring story of someone who was on the path, the PGY1, PGY2, got the job he wanted, found that he wanted to do something a little bit different, and how that success story happened. Episode 99, every P4 that comes through here, and now P3, you're the first P3, nice. You're representing well, that came in here. I always like to interview and find out their story, and he has an amazing immigrant story where he came over here. There was a lot of difficulty. He came here when he was 7, right? Yeah, and had tremendous success after some real difficulty in the beginning. And then episode 100, Michelle Magas was nice enough to interview one of her also graduating classmates from Drake University, and we'll hear their inspiring story too. So that's what's coming up in the Pharmacy Leaders Podcast this week. The mothership, the Pharmacy Podcast Network. I lost the feed for that. All right. On Monday, it was the Income Outcome Show. Then on, I think it was Wednesday. So how to communicate with a patient, how pharmacy marketing is simplified. So Nicole McClure is president of GRX Marketing, and she literally works 20 miles down the road. It's amazing that we have 25 podcast hosts, and 2 of us are in Iowa, not 10, 20 miles from each other. But she does a really great job of talking with someone about texting on ZipWhip, and it's Jace Treat, and talking about how we should be communicating with our patients in a way that they care about. So while we're trying to communicate with them on the phone, we would never want someone to call us, or when someone calls us, we don't pick up. We just look at it and go, okay, I know who that is. Then I'll text them, why are you calling? And then they'll text you. So it's just, it makes a lot of sense to better understand that. And then one of our locals, Kate Gaynor, who is the CEO of the Iowa Pharmacy Association, gets on with Erin L. Albert and talks with her. So haven't had a chance to listen to that episode yet, but we'll be listening to it soon. Okay. And then Erin Albert, I think she's talking about her new course, or I don't know how new it is, but cool jobs for pharmacists. What's your next career move? TLDR Pharmacy, still waiting for an update from them. I'm sure it'll come soon. But again, his last one was how to do a med rec, or medication reconciliation. And then Jackie Boyle, 3 ways to do less and accomplish more, on the Happy PharmD blog. Pharmacy Joe, pretty consistent with 2 episodes a week. So if you are in critical care pharmacy, hospital pharmacy, if you're really struggling to get through some of those NAPLEX case studies and want somebody to really quickly tell you how things go, his shows are 7 minutes. And he is one of those guys that is up on iTunes top 200 in terms of top 100 or 200 in terms of iTunes episodes. Also, Helix Talk talked about pulmonary embolism, but it was that tardive dyskinesia one from early April, that I really liked. One of the new agents, valbenazine, something that I really didn't understand and know about. And so as I'm teaching pharmacology, I always like to keep up. And Helix Talk and Pharmacy Joe are a great way to do that. You're a financial pharmacist. Those guys talk about the 5 biggest mistakes that pharmacists make with their student loans. And I don't know, I think the biggest mistake was actually taking out loans in the first place. I could have easily taken another year before pharmacy school and kind of saved up for that. But again, I'm talking about when they doubled tuition to $4,000 a year. So things are a little bit different now in the new gig economy. The Talk to Your Pharmacist podcast, Hillary Blackburn had, this is back in mid-April, Pharmacy Executive's Career Path with Aaron Hendricks, but hearing what it is to become a COO of a hospital and a vice president of a healthcare company, I definitely recommend that you check that out. This week on YouTube, so Kevin Yee talks about someone who got into pharmacy school after 10 years of trying. So you want to talk about persistence? That is the epitome of persistence, and he's just fun to listen to. But he also does live streams. So if you ever want to catch him, you can on his live stream. That was on April 29th. And then I didn't see anything new this week from Paul Tran and Brian Fung, but I do like watching them. Brian Fung had, I think, more of a personal one with StarCraft winning his tournament. But we have a new YouTuber. So Ahmed, the soon-to-be P4, just created a YouTube channel yesterday.
Yep, yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. So he has 33 subscribers. It's called Your Pop. Don't get it confused with K-pop. It's not like that at all. It's actually very inspirational, but it's for your pursuit of purpose. And a big part of his background is mentoring young men who are maybe struggling in high school. And what he wants to do is kind of take those messages and increase the reach that he has. So again, thanks for listening on this Pharmacy News Sunday. Look forward to a great weekend. We've got Cinco de Mayo and the Kentucky Derby all at the same time. So it's going to be a fun weekend this week. And then next week we'll be back with a number of... I'm really looking forward to sharing this one with you. I was able to talk to somebody who just graduated PGY1, PGY2, is going into an administrative position at Kentucky. And we talk at length in every step of the way. How do you get the residency? How do you use the residency as a tool to get to your next step? How do you choose where you want to be in the country? How do you make it so that you end up at this, phenomenal facility? And she's a phenomenal person, Devlin Smith, but I think you're going to also find that great. So that's something to look forward to in 2 weeks. But anyway, I'll see you guys next week.
Support for this episode comes from the audiobook Memorizing Pharmacology, a relaxed approach. With over 9,000 sales in the United States, United Kingdom, and Australia, it's the go-to resource to ease the pharmacology challenge. Available on Audible, iTunes, and Amazon.com, in print, ebook, and audiobook. Thank you for listening to the Pharmacy Leaders Podcast with your host, Tony Guerra. Be sure to share the show with the hashtag #PharmacyLeaders.